Hello, welcome to the David Dravanak Show, and today I would like to talk about how stupid people have been ruining my life. No surprise, and there's lots of ways that stupid people have ruined my life, but I'm going to talk about one in particular, which is the reason why stupid people are the reason why great television shows keep getting canceled. And in particular, it's the reason why a genius writer like Stephen Conrad cannot keep a television show on the air to save his life. It's ridiculous because his shows are phenomenal and they keep getting canceled. If you don't know who Stephen Conrad is, as I didn't really, he's written such movies as Wonder and The Secret Life of Walter Mitty, etc. But I was, I watched those movies. I liked them. I didn't know who had written them. But then I discovered a show on Amazon Prime called The Patriot. If you haven't seen it, go watch it. Unless you're stupid, don't bother. Don't bother. But if you're not stupid, watch it. You'll enjoy it. However, spoiler alert, it does get canceled, which you should have already deduced because you're smart. I wouldn't be doing this podcast if it hadn't been. Anyway, so I'm watching this show, The Patriot. Amazing, great writing, unlike anything I've ever seen. Sort of a combination of espionage meets just cool character work and great scenes and just, I don't know. I don't want to spoil it, but there's one scene that takes place in a parking lot-ish where there's a bunch of pipes, but it's almost like a play because it's just a series of conversations that happen between different characters, except for the main character. But each one, it's just kind of like one person enters conversation while another person, I don't know, it's genius. Anyway, my point is I'm watching the show, I'm loving it. Suddenly it's over. I do as I always do, like, when's season 3 coming out? Never. It's been canceled. It's been canceled. Canceled because of low ratings, because dumb people would rather watch a show, they'd rather watch a 10th season of How to Get Away with Murder, which they should just change the title to All the Characters Have Sex with Each Other. Because that's all that show is. Because that's what bad writers do. Bad writers just have everyone have sex with each other and call it suspenseful and riveting. And, as they're entering season 11, they're patting themselves on the back like, I'm such a great writer. If I weren't, I wouldn't be going to season 11. They never take into effect, because they're bad writers, that their audience is dumb. Spoiler alert, in case you haven't noticed, the majority of human beings are dumb. They just are. Go watch a movie called Idiocracy. He basically spells out exactly the problem. The problem is there's no natural selection in humans. So anyone's allowed to breed, thus, Plus, if you've lived at all, you know that this is a 100% fact. It's why the lowest common denominator is really what everyone who wants to be successful should shoot for. Because if you try and rise above that lowest common denominator, you run the risk, like Stephen Conrad, of having everything you do get canceled because not enough people care to stick with it. It's why dumb people, all the music, they don't like classical music. You'll never meet a dumb person who likes classical music. It's too challenging. Like, I just like music that goes bump, 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 bump over and over and over. It doesn't even need to have melody or rhythm. Just bump, 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 and then just some random mumble words. That's good enough for me. Yeah. The more the chorus repeats itself, the more I like it because I'm dumb. Who is it? Bach? I tried to listen to one of his songs. Oh my God, it was all over the place. I couldn't even follow it. What? Please give me the music for dumb people. Anyway, this is why shows get canceled, because dumb people can't follow the nuance and appreciate why it's even good. But so I watched The Patriot, gets canceled, no big deal. I hadn't even realized who had written it. I was just like, well, there's another one. I got a long list of shows that are great that never saw another season. But then, the other reason I'm doing this podcast is to turn you on to there's a streaming service that nobody has ever heard of called MGM Plus. I only stumbled across it because basically it's Epix, and then it got turned into MGM Plus streaming. So this is technically an Epix show, but I saw it on MGM Plus. Anyway, besides the point, stumble onto another show, which was years old. But when I go to a new streaming service, I always look up must-see shows, and this one showed up called Perpetual Grace LTD. Years old. So, years old, one season, I'm already nervous. Like, that's not good. That's not a good sign. But, I do a little research, and it says it got canceled, but it was given a chance to finish itself off. That sounded dirty. So I figured it was one of those mid-season cancellations or even mid-production, which I don't know how that works. But sometimes shows get the heads up like, hey, we're going to cancel you. You got a chance to wrap everything up. So I'm watching this show, knowing it's getting canceled, but thinking that it was going to have a wrap-up. And once again, phenomenal show. So good was the writing, there didn't even need to be anything happening, and I was at the edge of my seat, riveted. Just the conversations between two characters, fascinating. So refreshing compared to the levels and levels of dog crap that is out there. But unfortunately, I misinterpreted my research because it left off on a huge cliffhanger and never to be revisited. Apparently, it was greenlit for a second season to allow for the wrap-up, but then even that was eventually nixed. But I'm telling you, in spite of the cancellation, go watch it. Watch it, not for the plot, because, Stephen Conrad's shows, there is a plot, but that's not... I don't want to say that it's all character, because there is a plot, and there's enough of a plot that when Perpetual Grace LTD ended, I was like, oh, God damn it, because it left on a huge cliffhanger. To the point where I was like, what if I fan fictioned the end? Like, I kind of got I watched enough of the show that I started to get a feel. Like, when you want to be a television writer, like for late night television, let's say, you have to learn how to talk and write in the style of the host, say Jimmy Kimmel. So I was starting to get my head talking in a way like Stephen Conrad's writing, and I was like, maybe I should sit down and try and finish this show off. I can never send it to him because, as a rule, writers will never look at anything that, if I want to be a writer on a sitcom, I have to write a completely different sitcom and send it to them. Because if I write a sitcom that the job that I'm going for, then there's litigation possibilities. And anyway, my point is, great show. Go watch it. Where I messed up, I guess I said that right. I had read that it was going to get a second season to wrap up, and then things happened. He moved on to other projects, probably The Patriot, or I don't know which one came first. But what I'm telling you is, in spite of stupid people ruining good shows, this is a show and a writer that you should, follow everything he does, because it's brilliant. He even put out some podcasts that you should check out, which also great writing. So that's my thoughts about that. Did I have anything else? Oh, yeah. I did have another thought. I knew I had another one. So, to summarize that thesis, dumb people ruining my life by canceling, getting shows that are good canceled because not enough viewership. My advice to go watch those two shows if you want to watch something good and you're not stupid. And now the third part of this podcast is, now I'm going to contradict myself and possibly make myself seem stupid by saying the following. I do not think in any way that David Lynch is talented or a good writer. And the reason I'm contradicting myself, because right now, not the stupid person, but the smart person who thinks I'm dumb is like, aha, see, you're suffering from the same thing. You're too dumb to get David Lynch. I'm not too dumb. I am not too dumb. Believe me, I have attempted to watch numerous things he has done. It's just nonsense. Nonsense. I watched Mulholland Drive, sat through the whole fucking thing, hoping there would be some sort of tie-up. Something. Nope, just ended, and I was like, well, what the fuck? It was more, it's almost like he just takes abstract, random scenes he thought up, and then puts them together, calls it a movie, and moves on with his life. And here's the problem. So first off, he's not talented. Secondly, though, here's the thing. You will find a lot of people who tell you he is a genius. He is a genius. Therefore, I'm the stupid one who just doesn't get it. Am I any better than the stupid people that don't get Stephen Conrad? Yes, I am, because I'm not stupid. And I'll tell you why he's so popular. So, for instance, watch Mulholland Drive, no tie-up, no point. But just to be fair, I go online because maybe I missed something. Maybe I was too dumb to follow it. So I try and look it up, like, what the hell did any of that mean? And most people agreed, yeah, I didn't. It meant nothing because it's gibberish. That's what it is. But, oh boy, were there a lot of people who got it, 100%, called it genius. But here's the reason why I know. All those people are saying it's genius because they don't want to admit that they don't get it. It's why Pollock was so popular, the painter. Nobody wanted to admit that it was nothing, that anyone could do it. There's nothing there. But, dumb people who don't want to be the person to stand up and go, I don't get it when everyone else is telling you it's genius, will just follow along and go, yeah, okay. Yeah, I see the genius. You're telling me it's genius. It must be genius. And I am too weak-willed of a person to dare say I don't understand it, because you'll think lesser of me. It's like the person who laughs at jokes that they don't understand. We played this trick once on a girl when I was a teenager. There was a girl we knew, never got any of the jokes, but always laughed. So one time we, as a cruel joke, we told a joke amongst ourselves that was nonsense. It was about a penguin, I believe. And then nonsense punchline. We all laughed. She laughed. proving that she was only laughing because she didn't want to admit she didn't understand it, which is what I believe happens with David Lynch. Nobody wants to admit they don't get it, so they will say they get it, and then they'll just interpret it their own way. So when I go online to figure out what Mulholland Drive meant, everyone got it, but no one got it on the same way, just like with abstract art. Not a single person who claimed it was genius and who could explain what was happening explained it exactly the same. One person was saying, it really taps into my sadness. Another person is like, it really taps into my inability to admit I don't get this film. Like, it's like genius wrapped into genius. Yeah, like that's what the film was telling me the entire time, was like, hey, I know you don't understand any of this because, I mean, it's just a big joke on everybody. Me, David Lynch, is saying this now. But you're going to interpret it as me telling you it's okay to not understand it. But then in that, now you do understand it. Go online and tell everyone how much you understand it, because someday, 10 years from now, you're going to actually become what they call a virtue signaler. Because you're just basically a follower. And you're too dumb, and you get shows like Stephen Conrad's shows canceled. Because those shows, the difference is David Lynch is so weird that people that don't get it can just make up their own interpretation and sound like they get it. Stephen Conrad, at least his shit makes sense. And so mainly dumb people just don't like it. Yeah. So once again, dumb people ruining my life, and David Lynch is not talented in any way. Please don't try and tell me he is. Don't tell me he is, because I know that the second you try to defend anything he does, I know you've exposed yourself as the fraud you are. It's an argument I can't lose. Because you can try and tell me I don't get it, and I'll tell you that you absolutely don't get it, and you're just making shit up to try and not to admit that you don't understand anything he does. So in conclusion, for the second time, go watch The Patriot, go watch Perpetual Grace, go watch a show called Utopia on Amazon Prime. Stephen Conrad didn't write that, but another great show, fantastic, canceled. It's the story of my life. Like, I should just only watch, The Real Housewives and The Golden Bachelor. I'll never be disappointed. 1,800 seasons in a row. So many seasons, they fit seasons into years. Like, dumb people, man, I should just be dumb. I wish I could just do that. Because I wouldn't just get one show a season. I get like 3 shows a year, because dumb shows, it's like, as soon as the season 1 ends, season 2 is out 2 months later, and then season 3 is out 4 months later, because it doesn't take much to write those shows because they're dumb. Yeah, I'm talking to you, How to Get Away with Murder. Should call it How to Get Away with Making Shit Tons of Money by Writing Garbage.